Fellow Nigerians, we are just few days to the 2019 presidential elections. As you all know, our decisions on who to lead Nigeria will determine the destiny of Nigeria. In the 21st century, polling stations are the best places where we can express what we want and the kind of leadership we need in our country. I have never been a politician. I am not a politician, and I don't think I will ever be a politician. But I believe one does not need to be a politician in order to contribute to his country, his continent, or his generation. That is why I consider myself as one of the moral consciences of this generation. And in that regard, I want to use this medium to give you reasons why you must vote out General Muhammadu Buhari out of Aso Rock in order to vote in Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on the 16th of February 2019 as the next Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. First reason why you must vote out General Muhammadu Buhari. General Muhammadu Buhari is not a man of his words. He is not a man of integrity. Men of integrity keep to their promises, but he has not kept to his campaign promises. Before he came to power, during his campaigns in 2011 and 2015, he pledged that if he is given the opportunity to be the president, he will never seek for a second term of office. But today, contrary to his words, not only is he a presidential candidate for the second term, he is ready for a do-or-die race, which, to my opinion, he is a power monger and an opportunist, because power mongers don't care about integrity. They only care about having powers for themselves. They can even destroy the whole nation if things don't go their own way. In 2015 campaign, General Buhari promised that if he is elected, he will eliminate Boko Haram within 6 months. But today, not only did he fail in that mission, Boko Haram has multiplied and spreaded in other parts of Nigeria where they were not before he came to power. Further, Christians and priests in Benue State and other parts of Nigeria have suffered massive loss of lives due to insecurity, but General Buhari has done nothing about this. Nigeria used to be the first economic power in Africa, but since General Buhari took over power, Nigeria has entered into a serious recession. Fuel price, bag of rice, transport fare, and price of basic commodities and necessities have doubled, if not tripled. Nigerian youths and even the old are suffering and struggling to survive, to the point where every youth has resolved to move out of Nigeria to other African, European, Asian, and American countries in search of a better life. Yet, General Buhari has the guts to insult the youths of Nigeria as being lazy. During his campaigns in 2015, he promised Nigerians a change. Everyone was excited about the change he pledged to bring. Little did we know he was referring to a change from better to worse, from frying pan to fire, and from freedom of expression to the restriction of freedom of expression. And today, even freedom of expression is restricted, even from sitting senators like Senator Dino Melaye. Dino Melaye speaks words against the atrocities of President Buhari, and by all means, President Buhari seeks to arrest him. In fact, to abduct him, because there is a difference between arrest and abduct. Abduction is picking somebody without the constitutional due process. Arrest is picking up someone following the due process, constitutionally speaking. General Buhari has violated Nigerian constitution severally by despising the rule of law, the place of the judiciary, and the powers of the legislative. The greatest symptom of a dictator is when they reduce the power of the constitution to an ordinary novel, which is what General Buhari has done. General Buhari took the oath of office to defend the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which he has never respected. He does not respect court orders, which are contrary to his expectations or his personal ambitions. He uses the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian police to intimidate his political rivals. And in late 2018, he even used armed and masked DSS men to intimidate the legislators from having a meeting in the National Assembly. Before then, he attempted to arrest the Senate President, Senator Saraki, for no just cause, and he has used the police and INEC to rig gubernatorial election in some states like Osun and Ekiti states. General Buhari is gradually establishing Sharia and martial law in Nigeria in this 21st century. We cannot allow that to happen. Contrary to the Geneva Convention to which Nigeria is a signature, General Buhari has the audacity to connive with President Paul Biya of Cameroon to arrest and extradite to Cameroon Southern Cameroonian activists who were seeking refuge in Nigeria, and they are currently being judged in military tribunal with death penalty hanging on their heads. In all this, Nigeria has zero extradition treaty with Cameroon. Early this year, he even went as far as dismissing the Chief Justice of Nigeria and replaced him with a man who has never been called to bar, who is a Sharia law judge, and his name is not enlisted in the list of Supreme Court judges. This is to mesmerize, jeopardize, and even yearize the judiciary of our great Nigeria. General Buhari has done more damage to Nigerians' image, Nigerian democracy, and Nigerian economy and security than any former president of Nigeria. He is not physically, he is not mentally sound to rule himself, not to talk of ruling Nigeria. It should be noted that for the past 3 years, General Buhari has spent more time abroad taking care of his physical health than ruling Nigeria. In this same month of February 2019, he has fallen on 2 consecutive occasions within an interval of 48 hours. First in Kogi State, then in Kaduna, in an open air during his campaign trips. He has a loss of memory, which is one of the reasons some political opportunists in APC are taking advantage of, to use him as their puppet so that he can be signing the same contract and budgets more than once without remembering he signed it before. In his campaign trip to Cross River, he raised the hand of a wrong gubernatorial candidate, then changed to the right candidate. In Delta State, instead of saying gubernatorial candidate, he said presidential candidate, then senatorial candidate, before he was corrected by his loyalists that it is actually a gubernatorial candidate. How do you expect a whole Nigeria to have a president who makes such an expensive professional mistake over and over? In fact, in his live interview with Ahmed Kadaria, General Buhari said, I quote, "If my party recommends me to its executive, I will contest," end of quote. That is to say, he did not intend to contest himself. His party opportunists who are using him as a puppet are sending him in front, then hiding themselves behind, so that he can be displaying incompetence to drown Nigeria, but we cannot allow that happen. Former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Godwin Akpabio, said, I quote, General Muhammadu Buhari is the first man to put a woman to death through firing squad, end of quote. Same Godwill Akpabio said, I quote, APC is a congregation of aggrieved Nigerians who want power by all means, end of quote. Finally, the same Godwin Akpabio said, people who had opportunity to rule this country 30 years, 35 years ago, show me what they did. General Buhari had been a president, in a head of state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 80s. He did not do anything. If General Buhari could not do any good in Nigeria as a military head of state in the 80s, if he could not do anything positive in his first term, if you give him 100 years in Aso Rock, he will drown Nigeria. Why should Nigeria vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? Why should Nigeria vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? Number one, Atiku is a man of competence. He is a successful man who made outstanding achievements as a custom officer, a governor, a vice president, and as a successful businessman. Number two, as an individual, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has personally used his economic position to eradicate poverty in his state, in Nigeria, and in other parts of the world. Currently, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the state of Adamawa are the two major employers of Adamawa State. He has over 50,000 employees in his various companies and has shown a great competence to manage these companies and this number of people. This is a sign that if he can be successful in managing his businesses, managing the successes of others, then he can manage this country. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a man of good heart whose passion for humanity is more contagious than chickenpox. No one has ever come in contact with Alhaji Atiku and left without him putting a smile on their faces. In his banking industry, he dedicated 80% of his loans to women so they can take care of their children. He is hyper intelligent, highly experienced to handle major crises of Nigeria at this point in time. He is healthy, dynamic, law-abiding citizen and equipped with what it takes to give Nigeria and Nigerians a better life. If you want to board a plane, look for a competent pilot. If you want to enter a car, look for a healthy car with a healthy driver. Atiku is what Nigeria has been waiting for. Vote for Atiku. Atiku is coming.